Saturday night, March 15th at approximately 8:45 p.m., Shelton Police received a 911 call reporting a male was shot and was lying in the driveway. Police and EMS responded to the scene. The victim, a 15-year-old male, identified as Christian Noge, was there. He was taken to Bridgeport Hospital. He is currently in critical condition with life-threatening injuries. Police and detectives are currently investigating the incident. State Police Major Crime Squad has come and has also assisted in the scene processing at this time.
Can you spell that last name for us?
Yep, it's N-D-O-J. N-D-O-J.
Thank you.
I'm sure there's very little you can tell us about the
Yes.
investigation, but we're looking at a homicide definitely?
Right now, we're not ruling anything out. We're following several leads. Yesterday, our main priority was scene processing and interviews of the people that were in the area. Right now, we're in the phase of the investigation where we want to do re-interviews, talk to people, and figure out why and who is where we're at.
I know that he wasn't, this isn't his residence where he was shot. You know, what was his connection to that area? Do we know why he was there?
He is a resident of Shelton. He went with a friend to visit another group of friends, is why he was on that street that night.
That's a very small street. Any reason why they would congregate on that street?
Again, he went with a friend and they were going to meet up with a group of friends.
And
Okay.
what's the address of the house where he was found?
1 Agawam Trail.
Would the term party perhaps cover what was going on there?
Again, it's a group of teenagers that were meeting together at that night that they were meeting together.
Were any from that area? Any of the teenagers from that area? From that street?
Yes, from that area, yes.
Were there any parents at the house at the time?
Where the shot was fired, it was called in by the homeowner, who was a male.
Was the shot fired from the house?
We're still trying to determine where the shot was fired from. That hasn't been determined at this point.
And you have the gun?
We've seized evidence. We're not going to go into detail of what we seized at this point, but we do have evidence that was seized.
Any arrests made?
No arrests have been made.
What year was he at Shelton High School?
Why don't I leave it off here and I'll introduce Dr. Beth Smith, who's the headmaster at Shelton High School.
Good morning. First and foremost, our thoughts and prayers go out from the Shelton High School community to Christian and his family. As you can imagine, this is a very somber day at Shelton High School. I enacted our school crisis team first thing this morning. I have an outstanding support staff, and they have spent the morning dealing with individual staff and students who need services this morning. They will continue to do so throughout the day today, throughout the days of this week, and throughout the weeks ahead. As this is an ongoing police investigation, I'm not going to speak specifically about Christian or about any of the circumstances of this case because I do not want to compromise any of the police investigation. Thank you.
Can you tell us what year he's in at Shelton High School?
He is a sophomore at Shelton High School.
He is, I'm sorry.
I know that security has been stepped up at your school. Could you explain why we did that?
Yes, I requested extra security this morning. Anytime there's a police matter in the community, I generally work very closely with the Shelton Police Department. I requested extra security because that just sets in mind to students, staff, and parents that we want to ensure a very safe environment at the high school.
So the fact that there's been no arrests that have been made yet, does that add to the need to have more security on campus?
That was not my thought last night. My thought was solely to ensure that we had extra police presence to comfort students, staff, and parents, and also, quite frankly, to deal with the media who were showing up outside of the school building this morning.
Is there any concern that this might go beyond this shooting, that there might be assaults between two gang members or two groups of students?
I personally am not involved in the police investigation.
But there's been no threat like that?
There has been no threats to the school, to any of the students or staff at the school.
Imagine you take a lot of calls from concerned parents. I mean, what do you tell parents when a kid has been killed?
We don't know that the student has been killed at this time. The student is still alive. Certainly I have been fielding phone calls, although many of the parents follow me on Twitter, so they're used to the tweets. And they know, and throughout the last few years, you know that safety and security at the high school is paramount in my job, and I take that very seriously. So we work very closely with the members of the police department, of central office, and our security staff to ensure that Shelton High School is a safe environment.
Can you tell us about some of the students, what they've been saying, what they're feeling? They've been expressing any particular concerns about the situation?
They've not expressed any safety concerns at this point. They are somber. They know that a student that was a friend of theirs is in very serious condition right now, and they're just expressing emotions at this time.
You holding anything special, kind of assembly or, doing anything special for him?
Right now, we're dealing with this on an individual student basis.
Is there any word about whether or not some of the students are going to be interviewed, maybe any close friends of Christians at all?
That will not come from the school personnel. The investigation is solely a police investigation. The Shelton High School administration will not be participating in an investigation.
Can we ask the lieutenant that?
Yeah, I'll take it. Just to emphasize on Dr. Smith's point, again, it's a routine procedure for the police department to contact the school administration anytime there's a critical incident involving a student. That's what we did in this case. Police department officials met with high school officials last night. We had a meeting, and I just want to reiterate, there's no current threat to any student or to anyone at the high school. This was just routine precautions that were taken, the extra police officers that are at the school.
But can you talk a little bit about whether or not you guys are going to be interviewing any of his friends at all?
Well, in any investigation like this, background is a very important and vital piece. And part of that background is reaching out to friends and family members of everyone that we know is involved.
Now, we got some word that the student was threatened in some way prior to going to this area. Can you talk a little bit about that? Do you guys know anything about that?
We have a lot of theories that come across. We see the same things you guys do, due to social media. We're aware of it. It's one of the many angles that we're looking at, but I don't have anything that I can confirm and say to you at this point about it. But we are aware of it, and we're looking into it, as well as we're looking into several other possibilities.
And there was also word that he was there for a party. Do you know anything about that?
All I could say is he was going there with a friend, and they were meeting a group of people there.
Any idea how many people were involved? How many people were meeting?
I'm not sure of the exact number, but I do know he came with one other person.
And the number of shots, was it only 2 shots that were fired?
We know that he was shot twice, once in the leg and once in the head. We have that confirmed.
Any idea what type of gun was used?
We still don't have that information at this point.
I know you said students should be concerned for their safety. What about the neighbors in that area?
Again, as we say with any incident, and whether or not there's a shooting or not, our advice to residents is always be vigilant, always be aware of your surroundings. We don't have any specific threats. We don't have any specific cautions to anyone in the area or anyone at the school, but that still means that you need to be vigilant. And if you see something suspicious or you hear anything, please call the police department and let us check it out.
Just concerning for, parents, students, neighbors in that area, if no arrest has been made or we don't know if somebody's in custody, they shouldn't be concerned though.
Well, everyone should be concerned. Everyone here at the police department is also concerned. We take this, very seriously. A lot of members of the police department have children of their own, so we take this, very seriously. And again, what we want to let the public know is we don't have any specific threats towards any other individuals or anyone in the community at this time.
Is there like a search going on for an individual?
Yesterday, our big point in the investigation was, processing the scene, getting that evidence. Right now, the investigation has taken the turn of trying to figure out, obviously, who and why they did it. And part of that's going to be doing the interviews and trying to figure that out at this point.
And everybody you've dealt with is cooperating so far?
Everyone we have dealt with has cooperated at this point.
You said there's a number of different theories, like is there a working theory that detectives are working off of now, with like a timeline of before leading up to the shooting?
Well, it's a normal standard protocol that on any incident like this, we will do a timeline and track movements, previous movements leading up to the incident. Again, there's plenty of theories, plenty of rumors that are going on, but we are taking them all very seriously.